Hello. It's been a while. Anyway, let's see if we can actually do more videos this time. I don't have very high hopes, but regardless of that, today I want to talk about my favorite camera of the year 2023, and that would be the Leica Q2. I'm well aware that I made a video last year telling you that you probably shouldn't buy one, which I know, doesn't seem to make a lot of sense right now, but I stand behind that video, and like I said, if you are the right person for this camera, then yeah, it might also be your favorite camera. Anyway, here's why I preferred this over other cameras and why I don't feel the need to get a Q3. So it probably wasn't actually my most used camera this year. That would go to the Sony a7 IV, which is a completely different topic. Let's not get into that. I've used this a lot. It's gone to many different countries with me on many different shoots. And while I never took it as my primary camera necessarily, it ended up oftentimes actually kind of being my primary camera just because of how much more I enjoyed shooting with it. And that's gone back to that video I made last year where it is something that you truly have to, it's not the greatest spec wise or, on paper, it really doesn't look that good. But if you just enjoy shooting with it, that counts as a lot. And I truly love shooting with this camera. I love putting on like a black and white filter on this because it's not saved in the raw file, so I can still edit it in color, but like shooting black and white on this while you're shooting, it's different. I don't know what it is, but it's inspiring, honestly. And yeah, so on many of those shoots where I took this as like I'll get a few shots with it, I actually ended up using this primarily, which is kind of weird. But that also perfectly brings me to the things I don't like about this camera, because there are quite a lot of things that I don't like. It's not a lot, it's a few things I don't like. And yeah, with that being said, the biggest thing by far is the autofocus. It is not accurate, it is slow, and it just sucks generally. Sorry, but yeah. It's really not good. And I'm okay with it, I guess. Like, you gotta shoot a certain way with this. It's either you can shoot kind of fast paced, but that brings me to the second thing I don't like. Which we'll get to in a second. You can shoot kind of fast paced, but you'll have to accept that like a lot of those shots will just be misses, like they'll just be out of focus, and it's nothing you can really do unless you manually focus and you're good at that. But yeah, so autofocus is just not good. Second thing I don't like about this camera is that besides the autofocus being slow, it is just generally a very slow camera. And that can be it's not really a good thing, no, never mind. It can be a bad thing. But it can also be a I don't care thing. Let's put it that way. If you are actually like trying to get shit done and shoot stuff, that's kind of annoying. Like, you fill up the buffer really quick, and like it kind of doesn't matter because you can't like burst shoot anyway because the autofocus can't keep up. But also if it were good enough to keep up, or if you're manually focusing, the buffer fills up super quick and it takes forever to empty. It's also slow in the sense that it takes quite a while to turn on. Like, I already switched it on, it's still, oh, okay, well that was a terrible example. Let's do this again. Okay, it's off, let's turn it on here, now it's ready, which is, you might be like, this is not too bad, but like, it's just kind of slow, I don't know, it's fine, it generally is fine. It just, it's not the fastest camera, and sometimes that can be an annoyance. Sometimes it's fine because you want to shoot slow anyway, and then it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna say it's good. It's not good. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the third thing is the touchscreen / lack of a joystick in combination with the touchscreen, really. So the fastest way to move the autofocus point on this is with the touchscreen, which seems okay. You can also move it with the D-pad, but that is just super slow. And why is that a problem? Using the touchscreen seems fine. The amount of times I have just, not paid attention and all of a sudden my autofocus point was wherever, like completely somewhere random, is not funny. That is one of my biggest annoyances with this camera, actually. Just moving the focus point on accident. It's really annoying, and yeah, there's no really good way to fix it. I thought you said you really like this camera. Like, it seems pretty bad, honestly, from what I've just said. I honestly don't know why I like it so much. It's weird. It really is. Like, you can't take the lens off. It's slow. It doesn't autofocus well. Like, what? Why do I like this? The truth is, I kind of like the fact that I can't take the lens off. That's pretty much it for like everything I've listed just now. I constantly think about like, oh, what do I bring? What gear do I need? I'd rather bring this lens as well, just in case. And with this, it's literally just like, boom, done. Like, I grab this, I go, and that is it. There is no, I kind of want to buy this lens. I kind of want to take this lens, like even, but what if I need this lens while I go out? It's just, you take this, and that's it. And I kind of love that, because I overthink these things constantly, and this just takes it off of me. Especially for when I don't want to feel like I'm like in work mode. That is so nice. But I haven't just used this for like personal shooting. I've also used this on jobs where it seems more important to have good autofocus and all of that. So why do I like it for that stuff? And really the biggest part is that I enjoy holding this. I enjoy shooting with it more. Like I said before, putting this in black and white and just, it's so nice. You feel inspired while you're actually shooting. Like in A7 IV, I don't feel inspiration using that thing. It's a tool. It's a good tool, but it doesn't make me enjoy shooting. How long ago would that have been? 6 years ago, I think. I almost quit photography again because I was using an A6500 back then, and I wasn't enjoying using it, actually, like not at all. So I sold it. I didn't have a camera for a couple months. Eventually I bought another Canon and like picked up from there again. It was just, having the feel of the camera being like good, like just enjoying it, is so important. And I think that's like a really, really big part of why I love using this so much. Besides that, also I gotta say, the raw files are just nice to edit. I love editing. Having a nice raw file is a big thing. There used to be bigger differences with this. Like the Sony A7 III raw files, they used to be like really, really bad in my opinion. I've never liked the colors out of that thing. I've never liked editing them. The A7 IV is actually, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. But these are just, there's something to them still. I can't explain it. It's a weird thing. You either get it or you don't. I'm not gonna convince you for the camera that like, oh, there is magic to these raw files, which there isn't. They're just nice to edit. And honestly, I feel like the combination of those two things just overshadowed the fact that, the autofocus is and it's kind of slow. You can't change the lens. You gotta crop to get to 35mm, which is my favorite focal length. I've grown used to the 28mm that's on here, but I still would prefer a 35, to be honest. And so far, like, those two things were actually enough to just overshadow everything else. It's like, using this is fun, and editing the files is super nice. What else do I really need? But, and now we're finally getting to it, I also put it in the title, I truly do love this thing, but I am very much considering selling it. And I know that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, especially if I'm not planning on getting a Q3. But that's another like problematic trait I have. I just get bored with things. And as much as I love it, I'm a little bit bored by it by now. So that is literally the main reason why I've considered selling this. The only one, honestly. And there's probably a Fuji X100VI, whatever they're gonna call it, around the corner. And yeah, considered getting one of those anyway. So I was like, maybe I'll just sell this, get an X100VI. Probably have a bunch of money left over unless Fuji realized how expensive they can make them. That is primarily why I've considered selling it, or why I'm considering selling it. I'm still not 100% sure. So yes, that was a bit of clickbait, but yeah, I'm considering it. I really don't know. Being fun to use, being different to use, and having really solid RAW files is like, it also kind of helps it that you have to underexpose in camera, because this thing blows out the highlights super fast, so you gotta like really make sure that those are protected. And then in camera, everything looks more dramatic and awesome. But you can like pull the shadows up like crazy on this. So I think that helps. Anyway, this is a shit video. I just wanted to make a video again talking about something. And that was the one thing that I could think of, because I truly did love using this thing this year. Took it on a bunch of shoots, kind of around the world, honestly. Shot a bunch of different stuff. And yeah, I've loved using it. But it might be time to go for it. I don't know. So hopefully you found at least some entertainment in this. That's kind of it. I'm gonna think of something better to do, so hopefully, because I want to make more of these, and right now I have a bit of time, so we'll see. Hopefully you'll see something else again. Also want to make a video about what's going on here, but it's not finished because there's no monitor, so you know, we'll see what's gonna happen there. I already ordered one. Besides that, I have some other ideas. Let's see. I'm gonna stop talking now. See you in a